Learn English to Gujarati academic verbs. Argue, justify, explain with.
દલીલ કરવી.
And.
સમજાવવું.
Welcome, brain athlete. Hey, you are about to train your mind in English and Gujarati, and yes, your brain deserves a tiny gold medal already. Today we learn 8 smart verbs without sounding like a robot wearing glasses. Our target words are argue, justify, explain, evaluate, analyze, interpret, classify, and differentiate. In Gujarati, you will meet
દલીલ કરવી, ન્યાયોચિત ઠેરવવું, સમજાવવું, મૂલ્યાંકન કરવું, વિશ્લેષણ કરવું, અર્થઘટન કરવું, વર્ગીકૃત કરવું,
and.
ભેદ કરવો.
Imagine entering a classroom where even the cat has opinions, the teacher has charts, and the bookshelf is emotionally organized. Meet the dramatic debate club. Let us start with the loudest word, because quiet words never get invited to debate club. You will hear it, picture it, and remember it. Argue in Gujarati is
દલીલ કરવી.
Imagine 2 people at a table tapping papers and saying, "No, my tea-based philosophy is correct." They argue about politics every evening becomes
તેઓ દર સાંજે રાજકારણ વિશે દલીલ કરે છે.
I do not want to argue with my friend becomes
હું મારા મિત્ર સાથે દલીલ કરવી નથી ઈચ્છતો.
Lawyers argue in court becomes
વકીલો અદાલતમાં દલીલ કરે છે.
Memory trick.
દલીલ.
Sounds a bit like detail. When people argue, they suddenly have 7,000 details and at least 4 unnecessary hand gestures. Reasonable excuses, suspiciously polished. Now we upgrade from arguing to sounding fancy and legally nervous. This is the word you use when simple excuses are not enough. Justify in Gujarati is
ન્યાયોચિત ઠેરવવું.
It means to give reasons and show something as right or fair. They must justify their decision becomes
તેઓએ તેમના નિર્ણયને ન્યાયોચિત ઠેરવવું પડે છે.
Can you justify the cost becomes
શું તમે ખર્ચને ન્યાયોચિત ઠેરવવું શકો છો?
It is hard to justify that action becomes
તે ક્રિયાને ન્યાયોચિત ઠેરવવું મુશ્કેલ છે.
Picture a cat stealing fish and then trying to justify it with a chart about protein needs. That cat is very committed to
ન્યાયોચિત ઠેરવવું.
Please explain, and please save us. This next word is a hero in every classroom, family discussion, and confusing group chat. When chaos arrives, this word brings snacks and clarity. Explain in Gujarati is
સમજાવવું.
a classic mini dialogue. A. I do not understand. B. Let me
સમજાવવું.
please explain the rule clearly. You can remember the idea with
સમજાવવું.
feels like turning on a light in a dark room. Can you explain this idea? And the teacher wants to explain the answer. Both belong to the world of
સમજાવવું.
Do not confuse explain with understand. Explain is
સમજાવવું.
while understand is related to
સમજવું.
Professor Owl judges everything. Now let us become wise, serious, and slightly dramatic. Pretend you are an owl with glasses deciding whether homework, soup, or life choices are any good. Evaluate in Gujarati is
મૂલ્યાંકન કરવું.
Teachers evaluate student work carefully. We need to evaluate the results before deciding. The doctor will evaluate the patient's condition. In all these cases, the key idea is careful judgment. Think of a balance scale. 2.
મૂલ્યાંકન કરવું.
Is to weigh quality, value, or results. Funny image. A cat with a tiny judge's hammer tries to evaluate your cooking. If the cat nods gravely, congratulations. If not, order snacks. Detective mode activated. Now we zoom in, inspect details, and become suspicious of everything except grammar. This is the word for careful thinking step by step. Analyze in Gujarati is
વિશ્લેષણ કરવું.
Scientists analyze the data carefully becomes
વૈજ્ઞાનિકો ડેટાનું ધ્યાનથી વિશ્લેષણ કરવું શીખે છે.
We analyze the problem step by step becomes
અમે સમસ્યાનું પગલું પગલું વિશ્લેષણ કરવું જોઈએ.
To understand the poem, analyze each line. Again, that is
વિશ્લેષણ કરવું.
Imagine a detective, a magnifying glass, and one tomato wearing glasses saying, "Before I become sauce, I must."
વિશ્લેષણ કરવું.
This recipe. Hidden meaning and dramatic silence. Some words do not just sit there politely. They hide meaning in poems, symbols, and that one text message that only says, "Okay." Interpret in Gujarati is.
અર્થઘટન કરવું.
Experts interpret the poem in different ways. It is hard to interpret his silence. Teachers help students interpret the story. In each case, you are finding or explaining meaning. A. What does this symbol mean? B. I will.
અર્થઘટન કરવું.
It for you. Memory hint.
અર્થ.
Relates to meaning. So.
અર્થઘટન કરવું.
Is about uncovering meaning, not just translating words. Picture a dog staring at modern art and trying very hard to.
અર્થઘટન કરવું.
The dog is not wrong. The painting might indeed represent existential biscuits. The joy of putting things in boxes. If your soul becomes happy when socks match and folders line up neatly, this next word is your anthem. Organization fans, this is your moment. Classify in Gujarati is.
વર્ગીકૃત કરવું.
We need to classify these books by topic. Scientists classify plants into groups. It is hard to classify this idea. These all use.
વર્ગીકૃત કરવું.
Think of shelves, labels, categories, and one librarian whispering happily.
વર્ગીકૃત કરવું.
Single quote. Funny image. Even the socks hold a meeting to classify themselves by smell. It is not a glamorous meeting, but it is organized. Spot the difference, save the universe. Last word, but definitely not the shy one. This is what you do when two things look almost the same and your brain says, "Nope, we need details." Differentiate in Gujarati is.
ભેદ કરવો.
It is important to differentiate facts from opinions becomes.
તથ્યો અને અભિપ્રાયો વચ્ચે ભેદ કરવો મહત્વપૂર્ણ છે.
Good teachers differentiate simple ideas from complex ones becomes.
સારા શિક્ષકો સરળ વિચારોથી જટિલ વિચારોનો ભેદ કરવો શીખવે છે.
Can you differentiate these two colors becomes?
શું તમે આ બે રંગોમાં ભેદ કરવો શકો છો?
Imagine a superhero who can differentiate truth from illusion in 1 second. Meanwhile, the rest of us are still trying to differentiate salt from sugar before the tea goes wrong. Mini story of the overachieving student. Now let us put all 8 words into one playful scene. Listen once for fun, then once more to catch the target words. At a school debate, Meena begins to.
દલીલ કરવી.
About whether homework should be replaced by naps. Her teacher asks her to.
ન્યાયોચિત ઠેરવવું.
That bold idea. Meena tries to.
સમજાવવું.
That sleep improves happiness, sandwich appreciation, and perhaps mathematics. The principal decides to.
મૂલ્યાંકન કરવું.
The proposal carefully. A serious student starts to.
વિશ્લેષણ કરવું.
The data. Another student tries to.
અર્થઘટન કરવું.
The principal's facial expression, which unfortunately reveals nothing. Then the librarian helps.
વર્ગીકૃત કરવું.
All the arguments into strong, weak, and mostly about snacks. Finally, everyone learns to.
ભેદ કરવો.
Between a serious academic point and a very creative excuse. Quick quiz, no panic allowed. You are ready for a fast review. Answer out loud, even if your houseplant becomes your study partner. What is the Gujarati word for argue?
દલીલ કરવી.
What is the Gujarati word for justify?
ન્યાયોચિત ઠેરવવું.
What is the Gujarati word for explain?
સમજાવવું.
What is the Gujarati word for evaluate?
મૂલ્યાંકન કરવું.
What is the Gujarati word for analyze?
વિશ્લેષણ કરવું.
What is the Gujarati word for interpret?
અર્થઘટન કરવું.
What is the Gujarati word for classify?
વર્ગીકૃત કરવું.
What is the Gujarati word for differentiate?
ભેદ કરવો.
Friendly goodbye. Nicely done. You just trained with big academic verbs and survived the cat, the owl, and the suspicious tomato. Thank you for learning with me today. Practice these words out loud.
દલીલ કરવી, ન્યાયોચિત ઠેરવવું, સમજાવવું, મૂલ્યાંકન કરવું, વિશ્લેષણ કરવું, અર્થઘટન કરવું, વર્ગીકૃત કરવું,
And
ભેદ કરવો.
keep practicing, use them in your own sentences, and come back anytime your brain wants another friendly workout.